Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws, Gunslingers with Bang and Dang, starting a whole new series. We're the podcast of series now. We got our Mafia series, we got our Serial Killer series, and now we got the start of, well, at least for the foreseeable future, the Hells Angels series.
Hells Angels. Right?
We got at least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe about 9 or 10 of these episodes on Hells Angels. First one up, we'll cover the history. Pretty much, obviously, the foundation up into, how we do it with the Mafia, run through before we get more in depth on some of these subjects. Coming up on this stuff, breakdown of all their crimes in different places. United States, California, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, rest of the world.
Crazy.
And then we'll profile two of its bigger, well-known people, which was one was the original founder, Sonny Barger, who just died a year ago, I think. And then George Christie, who's probably the most famous one. He's running around right now doing podcasts and talking all sorts of stuff about him. So got a lot of Hells Angels stuff coming up. Before we get into it, go check it out. Go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network, where we post clips, shorts, full episodes, and our YouTube exclusive Dart League. If you're just listening on Spotify, Apple, give us a description, give us a review, and share us with your friends. Answer that Spotify question. Or if you're listening on those two, head over to YouTube, give us a subscription, and watch the video version. We put up little pictures of the relevant stuff as we're talking about it. So if you guys are interested in what we're seeing, then that's the way to go. So, Hells Angels. Which are, according to this, they're outlaw motorcycle club whose members typically ride Harley Davidsons. Typically. In the United States and Canada, the Hells Angels are incorporated.
A couple victories are Indians in there, you think?
Definitely Indians. They're incorporated. Look at that.
Think any Hondas?
They're a company. Doubtful.
Any Kawasaki's?
I think you'd be beaten and left on the side of the road. They are incorporated in the United States and Canada as the Hells Angels Motorcycle Corporation. Common nicknames for the club are HA, red and white, HAMC, and 81. With a membership of over 6,000 and 467 chapters in 59 countries, Hells Angels is the largest outlaw motorcycle club in the world. Good for them. Many police and international intelligence agencies, including the United States Department of Justice, Criminal Intelligence Service Canada, and the Australian Federal Police, and Europol, consider the club an organized crime syndicate. Hells Angels originated March 17, 1948 in Fontana, California, when several small motorcycle clubs agreed to merge.
No, probably.
Otto Friedley, a World War II veteran, is credited with starting the club after breaking from the Pissed Off Bastards motorcycle club over a feud with a rival gang. According to an alternative theory, the Hells Angels were founded on November 15th, 1951 in San Bernardino by Dick White, who was a member of the Redlands Roadrunners. But the actual story is they broke off from the Pissed Off Bastards, so I don't know why that would be included.
According to its website, the club's name was suggested by Arvid Olsen, an associate of the founders who had served in the Hells Angels squadron of the Flying Tigers in China during the World War II. In a letter written to the Guinness Book of World Records by a member on the Hells Angels' behalf, it is instead stated that the club's name was taken from the Hells Angels squadron of the 303rd Bombardment Group, which was active in the European theater of World War II. It is at least clear that the name was inspired by the tradition from World War I and World War II, whereby Americans gave their squadrons fierce, death-defying titles. An example of this lies in one of the 3 P-40 squadrons of Flying Tigers fielded in Burma and in China, which was dubbed Hells Angels. In the year 1930, the Howard Hughes film Hells Angels showcased extraordinary and dangerous feats of aviation, and it is believed that the World War II groups that used that name based it on the film. According to Hells Angels' website, they are aware that there is an apostrophe missing in Hells, but it is you who miss it. We don't.
We don't miss that apostrophe. We don't care. All right, some of the Hells Angels' early history is not clear and accounts differ. The club's first official charter was reportedly drawn up in Fontana in 1950, like we said. Various autonomous Hells Angels chapters were formed throughout California in the decade following the foundation by nomadic members who moved from one city to another. The San Francisco, or Frisco chapter, was reportedly founded by former members of the Market Street Commandos in 1954. A North Sacramento chapter was established in 56, followed by another one in Sacramento the following year, which was formed by two brothers, James Mother Miles and Pat Miles, who were former members of the Hell Bent for Glory Biker Club. So there was two charters in Sacramento. How does that work? Can't be doing that.
Right. The Sacramento charter later disbanded and relocated to Richmond as a Nomads chapter in 1965. According to Ralph Sonny Barger, founder of the Oakland charter in 1957, other early charters of the club were founded in Gardena and elsewhere, with members usually unaware that there were other clubs.
Well, I mean, it is the 50s.
Right. One of the lesser-known clubs was in North Chino, South Pomona in the late 1960s. Barger has been credited with helping to unify these various chapters under common club bylaws.
Right. Other sources claim that the San Francisco Hells Angels were organized in 53 by Rocky Graves, who was a Hells Angel member from San Bernardino.
Right, since they didn't know there were other clubs anyway.
Right. Implying that the Frisco Hells Angels were very much aware of their forebears. Right. The Frisco Hells Angels were reorganized in 1955 with 13 charter members, Frank Sadalek serving as president, and the smaller original logo. The Oakland charter at the time, headed by Barger, used a larger version of the Death's Head patch nicknamed the Barger Larger, which was first used in 1959. It later became the club standard, which you see now. The first chapter to open outside California was established in Auckland, New Zealand in 1961. That's crazy.
Right.
Somebody moved from California and was like, I'm going to New Zealand, and guess what? I'm starting a biker club.
Damn right, baby. The Hells Angels are often depicted in semi-mythical romantic fashion, like the 19th century James Younger gang. Free-spirited, iconic, bound by brotherhood and loyalty. At other times, though, such as in 1966 Roger Corman film The Wild Angels, they are depicted as a violent and nihilistic, little more than a violent criminal gang, and a scourge on society. Well, the club became prominent within, established its notoriety as part of the 1960s counterculture movement in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district, playing a part of many of the movement's seminal events. Members were directly connected to many of the counterculture's primary leaders, such as Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters, Allen Ginsberg, Jerry Garcia, and the Grateful Dead, Timothy Leary, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Mick Farron, and Tom Wolfe, to name a few.
Right. Well, Gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson's book about the club launched his career. You guys might know Hunter S. Thompson is the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Right.
From 1968 to 69, the Hells Angels of San Francisco headquarters was at 715 Ashbury, across from the Grateful Dead house at 710 Ashbury.
Sweet.
I guess there was a Grateful Dead house, whatever that is. Was that where the band members lived, I'm assuming?
Sure.
1973, members from several branches of the organization protested at an Environmental Protection Agency hearing about a proposed transportation plan that included restrictions on motorcycle use and sales to get California to meet the new Clean Air Act standards. These motherfuckers have been at it
for years.
Since the 70s. Jeez.
Wow. The Hells Angels official website attributes the official Death's Head insignia designed to Frank Sadalek, past president of the San Francisco Charter.
Right.
The colors and shape of the early style jacket emblem before 1953 were copied from the insignias of the 85th Fighter Squadron and also the 552nd Medium Bomber Squadron also.
Right.
The Hells Angels have a system of patches similar to military medals.
They do.
The specific meaning of each patch is not publicly known, but the patches identify each biker's specific or significant actions or beliefs. The official colors of the Hells Angels are red lettering displayed on a white background, hence the club's name, the Red and White. The patches are worn on leather or denim jackets and vests as well.
Mm-hmm. Red and white are also used to display the number 81 on many patches, as in Support 81, Route 81. The 8 and 1 stand for the respective positions in the alphabet of H and A.
Oh.
Friends and supporters of the club use these in deference to club rules which purport to restrict the wearing of Hells Angels imagery to club members. The diamond-shaped 1%er patch is also used displaying 1% in red and on a white background with a red mirrored border.
No.
The term 1%er is said to be a response to the American Motorcyclists Association, who commented on the Hollister incident, which we'll get to the effect that 99% of motorcyclists were law-abiding citizens and only 1% were outlaws.
Most likely the case.
The AMA has no record of such a statement and calls the story apocryphal. It's false.
Most members wear a rectangular patch, again white background with red letters and a red marrowed border. which is identifying the respective charter locations.
Right.
Another similar designed patch reads Hell's Angels. When applicable, members of the club wear a patch denoting their position or rank within the organization.
Right.
The patch is rectangular, like those described above. Displays a white background with red letters and red marrowed border. Some examples of titles used are President, Vice President, Secretary, Treasurer, and Sergeant at Arms.
Ooh, that old Sergeant at Arms.
This patch is usually worn above the chapter location patch. Some members also wear an AFFA patch, which stands for Angels Forever. Forever Angels, referring to their lifelong membership in the club. Once a member, always a member.
Yeah, well, some additional patches are worn by select club members. Select club members consist of 2 Nazi-style SS lightning bolts below the words "Filthy Few." Some law enforcement officials claim that the "Filthy Few" patch is awarded to only those who have committed or prepared to commit murder on the club's behalf.
Prepared?
Hell's Angels, ordered it or something.
Right.
Hell's Angels have denied this interpretation, however, comparing it instead to a merit badge awarded to those who are the first to arrive at a party and the last to leave.
No shit.
According to reports from law enforcement and prosecutors, another patch similar to the Filthy Few patch is the Dequialo patch. Dequialo?
Okay. Wow. Well, this patch is a reference to the El Degualo, a bugle call played by the regimental band of Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna's army at the Battle of the Alamo. Wow.
Why are they sporting Santa Anna, man?
Right. This patch allegedly signifies that the wearer has fought law enforcement on the arrest.
Look at that.
Cool, man. Freaking assaulting an officer.
Right.
There's no common convention as to where the patches are placed on members' jackets or vests. Angels Forever, Forever Angels is also the club's traditional motto.
Well, good for them.
Other Hell's Angel slogans include, when we do right, nobody remembers. When we do wrong, nobody forgets. Also, 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead.
Yeah, that's true.
And when in doubt, knock them out.
All right, Mama said knock them
I
out.
like that. When in doubt, knock them out.
Yeah, fuck around, won't be around, right?
Which was coined by New York City chapter member Vincent Big Vinny Girolamo.
All right, Hell's Angels incorporated in 1966, trademarking the club's name and 4 symbols. The club filed a trademark infringement lawsuit for the first time October 26, 1989, when the Hell's Angels lodged a federal lawsuit in Los Angeles against Concord New Horizons, which produced the film Nom Angels, and against the Media Home Entertainment, which distributed the film, over infringement rights on the club's registered trademarks. The suit was settled out of court.
Oh, I bet it was.
According to the Globe and Mail, the Hells Angels considered seeking an injunction to block the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation from broadcasting the miniseries The Last Chapter because of how closely the biker gang at the center of the series resembled the Hells Angels.
Aw.
Well, they sure the hell didn't say nothing to Sons of Anarchy.
Right. Wow. And the Mayans.
Well, Sons of Anarchy did have Hells Angels working on the show.
March 2007, Hell's Angels filed suit against the Walt Disney Motion Pictures Group, alleging that in its film Wild Hogs, used both the name and distinctive logo of the Hell's Angels Motor Club without permission. That's with
Tim Allen and all those.
And Andy Dick.
No.
No.
The dude from Shameless.
Right. Yeah.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
The suit was eventually voluntarily dismissed after the Angels received assurances from Disney that the references would not appear in the film.
And they didn't.
October 7th, 2009, Fritz Clapp, attorney at law for the Hells Angels, contacted online games community FOCO, demanding the removal of all membership marks and club trademarks from the Los Santos Roleplay Forum, which was a message board for the San Andreas multiplayer modification for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Why would they try that and think they can get away with it, you know? Probably wasn't the exact logo, or was it?
Yeah, it was a mod, which was probably, so they have real life stuff, so I'm sure somebody made a Hells Angels group in it.
Oh, man. While members of the community were skeptical at first, Clapp posted a tweet confirming his identity.
This is me.
And he's like, yeah.
October 2010, the Hells Angels filed another lawsuit against Alexander McQueen for misuse in its trademark winged death head symbol.
Oh, wow.
And several items from its autumn-winter 2010 collection.
Doesn't Bret Hart have something like that?
Kind of, but no. Who's that? What is an Alexander McQueen? It's a brand. Well, they must make clothes. Good for them. The lawsuit also aimed at Saks Fifth Avenue and Zappos.com, which stocked the Jacquard box dress and knuckle duster ring that bear the symbol, which has been used since at least 1948 and is protected by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Can't be just stealing people's stuff.
I know. Come on, guys. Get your shit together.
A handbag and scarf were also named in the lawsuit. The lawyer representing Hell's Angels claimed this isn't just about money, it's about membership.
Right.
If you got one of these rings on, a member might get really upset that you're an imposter. Right.
Right.
It's like wearing Gaines colors in the wrong neighborhood, dude.
Right. You could get hurt.
Jeez.
Sachs refused to comment, though. Zappos had no immediate comment, and the company's parent company, PPR, could not be reached for a comment. The company settled the case with the Hells Angels after agreeing to remove all the merchandise featuring the logo from sale on their website, stores, and concessions. And they were recalling any goods that had already been sold and destroying them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure just people voluntarily gave them up.
They're like, I don't even receive it. Right. In the fall of 2012, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Cali, Hells Angels sued Toys R Us for trademark infringement, unfair competition, and dilution in relation to the sale of yo-yos manufactured by Yomega Corporation, a co-defendant which allegedly bear the Death Head logo.
Nice, look at that.
Wow.
In its complaint, Hells Angels asserted...
Hells Angels put the yo-yo out of business?
They asserted that the mark on the yo-yos would likely lead people to mistakenly believe that the toys originate with Hells Angels.
No, come on. Nobody's ever going to think that.
Right. Yomega filed counterclaims against Hells Angels for cancellation of the Death Head registrations on grounds of alleged fraud in the procurement of the registrations.
Oh.
The case settled in the lawsuits was dismissed with prejudice.
Okay.
Right. As of December 2013, the Hells Angels sells its branded merchandise at a retail store in Toronto. Look at them. About time. I mean, geez. 2019, the Hells Angels sued Redbubble in the Federal Court of Australia for infringing on its trademark, launching another suit in 2021 after providing evidence that Redbubble had continued to breach the trademark.
Oh, shit. These guys are like, I don't care.
The 2019 case concluded with the Hells Angels being awarded $5,000 in damages.
That's it.
July 2022, in the second ruling against Redbubble, the company was ordered to pay the club more than $78,000. Yeah, Redbubble, they're like they make like stickers and like that type of shit.
Assholes.
Idiots.
To become a Hells Angels prospect, candidates must have a valid driver's license. Wow.
All right. That's one thing. We can murder and do all this shit, but you must be valid.
Yeah. They must have a motorcycle over 750 cc.
Yeah, we can't have no fucking pussy-ass, weak-ass Hondas.
Right. And they must have the right combination of personal qualities, whatever that is.
All right.
It is said the club excludes child molesters and people who have applied to become a police or prison officer. Intravenous drug use is also forbidden among the club.
Which means no fucking heroin, you smackheads.
Yeah, jackass. You can smoke your little pots.
Right.
Drink your little whiskey.
Snort your little cocaine.
Right. Anything other than that? No.
Be shooting up.
Members in North America are required to ride United States-built motorcycles. Good. Harley-Davidson's bikes are the most common in the club, although other bikes such as Victory and Indian are also permitted because guess why? They're made by Americans.
Right. After a lengthy phase process, a prospective member is first deemed a hang-around, indicating that he's invited to some club events or to meet club members at known gathering places. If the hang-around is interested, he may be asked to become an associate, a status that usually lasts about a year or two. At the end of that stage, he is reclassified as a prospect, participating in some club activities but not having voting privileges while he is evaluated for suitability as a full member. The last phase, obviously, is full membership, or you get the patch, buddy.
Right,
you get the patch.
You're part of the club now, motherfucker. The term full patch refers to the complete four-piece insignia, including the Death Head logo, 2 rockers, top rocker, which is Hells Angels, bottom rocker is a state or territory claimed.
Right.
And also a rectangular MC patch below the wing of the Death's Head.
Nice.
Prospects are allowed to wear only a bottom rocker with the state, province, or territory name along with the rectangular MC patch.
No Death Head and no Hells Angels wording. Good. Nice.
And usually it says prospect too.
Could be.
To become a full member, a prospect must be unanimously confirmed by the rest of the full club members.
Well, before votes are cast, a prospect usually travels to every charter in the sponsoring charter's geographic jurisdiction and introduces himself to every full patch member.
Wow.
This allows each voting member to become familiar with the prospect and ask any questions of concern before voting. Some form of formal introduction follows wherein the prospect affirms his loyalty to the clubs and its members. Final logo patch, which is the Hells Angels rocker, is then awarded at the initiation ceremony. The step of attaining full membership can be called being patched, yes.
Right. Even after a member is patched in, though, the patches remain the property of Hells Angels, not the member.
Right.
On leaving the Hells Angels or being ejected, a member must return his patches to the club. Makes sense. Members must pay dues as well and are required to attend mandatory club meetings and motorcycle runs. Kind of like if you join a golf course.
Right.
You have to spend so much in the...
Or like you join the Eagles Club or something like that. You got to pay dues and do all that shit.
Like you have to spend so much in the pro shop at the golf course and all that shit. You got to go to the banquets and all that garbage. Sometimes you have to clean up.
You should.
Right? Chapter meetings, known as church, are typically held at clubhouses or members' residence. 1978, members were required to pay $20 per month to the local chapter and $10 a month to the state chapter. The money is used by the club to finance motorcycle runs and funerals.
Probably the second one more.
Right. And to fund the travel of club officers to state and national meetings.
All right, look at them.
Hells Angels may become exempt from paying dues after a certain period of time as a member of the club.
Well, obviously, you're higher up, you ain't paying shit. The club is not officially a racially segregated organization. In the U.S., at least one charter allegedly requires that a candidate be a white male. And Sonny Barger said in a 2000 BBC interview, the club as a whole is not racist, but we probably have enough racist members that no black guy is going to get in it. Right. At that time, the club had no black members.
Wow.
A few non-white members have been noted in the United States. 1967, Hunter S. Thompson remarked upon a Chinese Mel from San Francisco and Charlie, a young Negro from Oakland.
Wow.
Stephen Wayne Yee, a Chinese-American member of the Hells Angels Cleveland chapter, was convicted of murder in 1990.
Oh, shit.
Right, look at that.
The Satan's Angels MC in Vancouver had a black member when it merged with the Hells Angels in 1983.
Well, good for them.
San Fran and
Like,
Anchorage.
you got to go.
Right. The San Francisco and Anchorage chapters threatened to have the Vancouver chapter expelled from the club
no.
when they learned of the situation. The matter was ultimately resolved when the man changed his nationality to Hawaiian.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I'm Hawaiian, man. Oh, all right.
That's fine.
All right, that's cool. An unsanctioned Hells Angel chapter in Windsor, England, was granted official status in 1985, shortly after its only black member, John Mickelson, had died in police custody.
They've been like, they probably told him, like, you're not getting full official status until this black guy leaves.
All right.
They're like, all right, we can arrange that.
Easily.
Another notable is Gregory Woolley, a high-ranking member of the Rockers MC in Montreal, who was the protege and bodyguard of Hells Angels boss Maurice Boucher,
Barry Boucher.
who spent 5 years in a notoriously white supremacist motorcycle gang, the SS.
Oh, shit.
Woolley became an associate of the Wait, damn, so this dude took a black guy under his wing after leaving the old white supremacy group.
Wow.
Huh? Woolley became an associate of the Hells Angels Montreal charter in the 90s and later tried United street gangs in Quebec after Boucher was in prison.
Oh, shit. Look at that.
Look at that.
Good for you, guy. In another interview with Barger in 2000, he said, if you're a motorcycle rider and you're white, you want to join the Hells Angels. If you are black, you want to join the Dragons.
Okay, that must be Chicago, I bet.
That's how it is, whether anyone likes it or not.
Hey, nothing we can do about it.
We don't have no blacks, and they have no
They
whites.
ain't got no whites.
When asked whether that could change, Barger replied this: anything can change. I can't predict the future. All right.
Right.
Toby Livingston, who formed the black motorcycle club East Bay Dragons Motorcycle Club, wrote in his book that he and Barger have a long-lasting friendship, and the Hells Angels and Dragons have a mutual friendship and hang out and they ride together.
Well, good for them. They see joining each other's ranks.
I think if they're on the highway, they might like pass each other. Maybe to slow down for a minute. And look, hey, listen on up.
We go first, boys. 1966 Ebony article about motorcycle rebels in the African American community.
They shoot their tires out.
Right. The Chosen Few Motorcycle Club said they see no racial animosity in the Hells Angels, and that when they come into Chosen Few territory, they all get together and party.
I'm sure they do.
A Hells Angels member who interviewed for the magazine insisted there was no racial prejudice in any of their clubs. He said, we don't have any Negro members, but maintained that no blacks have sought membership.
All right.
At one point in the 70s, the Hells Angels sought to consolidate the various motorcycle clubs and offered every member of the Chosen Few a Hells Angels patch, an offer that was declined.
Oh,
like, nah,
shit.
man, we'll be cool, but we want our own patch, man.
Right. Yeah, man, we're us. The Hells Angels became the first notarized and organized outlaw motorcycle club. The biker clubs formed subsequently have reportedly imitated the Angels' insignias, rules, doctrines, and rituals. Mm-hmm. Hells Angels chapters are governed by an officer court, and consisting of a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, sergeant-at-arms, as we said, oilia, and a road captain.
And a road captain. It's like a brigadier general.
Right. Chapters are composed of between 10 and 12 members on average. Each chapter has autonomy regarding member discipline and minor policy changes.
You do whatever you want. Just stick to our basic outlines, I guess. Right. In contrast to other prominent motorcycle clubs in the U.S., Hells Angels organization is not headed by a national or international president. It is instead governed by regional officers who are each chosen to represent a collective of localized chapters at monthly regional meetings.
Nice.
Regional officers are divided into two groups. Those who attend the West Coast Officers Meeting, this is WestCom, to conduct the policy, actions, and affairs of the Hells Angels in the Western United States, and those who attend the EastCom, or ECOM, to govern the chapters of the Eastern United States, clearly.
Right.
The dividing point of the West and East regions is Omaha,
hey.
in which states with multiple chapters, weekly state meetings are also held in addition to chapter meetings.
Fantastic.
Weekly, huh? So
Damn.
You're in California, which most of them are. You're probably meeting in like San Bernardino. Sucks to be you.
All right.
If you're up north.
All right, you ain't kidding. Damn. Although the Hells Angels have no official mother chapter, the club's de facto national headquarters remained in its founding location of San Bernardino, which is in Cali, until the club founder Otto Friedli, probably. Yeah, he was in prison in 1958. The club's unofficial headquarters was then relocated to Oakland by Sonny Barger, who succeeded Friedli as the boss, or as the president.
De facto.
Right. Oakland chapter has traditionally been able to maintain a preeminent position as the first among equals because it has the largest membership of any charter of the United States and because of Barger's esteem among club members.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy.
He was the guy.
The Oakland chapter is responsible for making major decisions within the club and granting new charters. So they're clearly the
right.
Any motorcycle club seeking to join the Hells Angels must apply to the Oakland chapter for membership, and the applicant must be monitored and approved of by the Oakland Hells Angels before being granted membership.
Oh shit.
In New York, the HAMC, Hells Angels, is incorporated as the Church of Angels, a nonprofit religious organization.
Oh, shit.
Well, look at them, huh? Getting around those taxes.
Fantastic. Hells Angels acknowledges more than 100 chapters in over 29 countries. New Zealand had the first charter of the Hells Angels outside the United States.
Right.
The club founded a charter in Auckland in 1961, as we said earlier, and has since taken over gangs in Wanganui. Europe did not become widely home to the Hells Angels until 1969, when two London charters were formed. The Beatles' George Harrison invited some members of the Hells Angels San Francisco to stay at the Apple Records in London in 1968. Oh, they were like, this is nice.
Right.
According to Chris Odell, only two members showed up, Frisco Pete and Bill Sweet William Fritch.
All right. Well, two people from London visited California, prospected, and ultimately joined. Look at that. Two charters were issued July 30th, 1969, one for South London, the Reimagined Charter renewing the already existing 1950 South London Charter. Oh, there was already a one.
Wow.
And the other for East London, but by 1973, the two charters became one and just called London.
Makes sense.
London Angels. London Angels are killing again. They provided security at a number of UK underground festivals, including Fun City in 1970, organized by Mick Farron.
Okay.
They awarded Farron an approval patch in 1970 for use on his first solo album, Mona, which also featured Steve Peregrine Took, who was credited as Shagrat the Vagrant. All right.
Oh, shit. Look at old Mick Farron trying to become a biker.
So approval, we'll give you this patch. You're approved to use it by us.
Right.
Yeah, look at that.
That's fantastic. 1977, the Hells Angels arrived in Canada with the Popeye Moto Club, patching over to form the Hells Angels Montreal chapter. During 1980s and the 90s, there was a major expansion of the club into the rest of Canada. The Quebec Biker War was a violent turf war that began in 1994, continued until 2002 in Quebec.
Damn.
The war began when the Hells Angels in Quebec began to try to establish a monopoly on street-level drugs in Quebec. Many drug dealers and crime families resisted and established groups such as the Alliance to Fight the Angels, which was led by a Rock Machine.
The Rock Machine must be a gang.
Right. The war resulted in the bombings of many establishments and murders on both sides.
That's the thing about these damn bikers, dude. They love their bombs. They're like the Irish.
Yeah, a lot of bombs.
Lots.
More than 160 people died, over 300 were injured, and 100 missing.
Missing from the free open air, yes.
Right. And over 100 bikers were incarcerated.
That's it?
Members of the Spanish charter were involved in the killing and tried as well.
Okay.
A list of acknowledged charters can be found on the Hells Angels official website.
Yes, they can.
I bet so.
Over the years, the Hells Angels have amalgamated a number of smaller outlaw clubs in a process known as a patchover.
Right.
1967's the Animals MC became Hells Angels Cleveland. 69, the Aliens MC Nomads became New York City. 75, Grateful Dead MC became Hells Angels Bridgeport, Connecticut, I'm assuming. 1977 in Canada, the Popeye, which we just said. 1978, and then the Netherlands, Neanderthals. In the Netherlands, the Kreidler Ploeg Oost became Hells Angels Amsterdam.
Makes sense.
1980, Denmark, the Unionen MC became Copenhagen. 1980, also in the Netherlands, the Mad Dogs became Harlem with 2 A's. 1982, Spain became Spain. They didn't have a group. 1982, in the United States, the Brothers MC became Anchorage. 1983, in Canada, Satan's Angels became Vancouver.
How often can you ride a motorcycle in Alaska? Especially Anchorage.
Well, Anchorage.
Couple months.
All the time.
Maybe.
1984, Canada, the 13th tribe became Halifax. 1990, Germany, the Phoenix MC became Berlin. 1992, Norway, the Rowdies MC became Trondheim. 1993, Sweden, the Dirty Draggles became Malmo.
Well, that's stupid. I like the Dirty Draggles.
Right.
Why couldn't it be called Hells Angels Dirty Draggles?
Right. Hell Angels DDs.
Right.
United
Double
States,
Ds,
the
baby.
Dirty Dozen MC became Arizona. Canada, the Grim Reapers became Calgary. Another Canada, the Rebels became Saskatoon. Oh, Saskatoon, huh? In Canada, Satan's Choice became Ontario. Also in Canada, the Los Bravos became Manitoba. The Brothers Fast MC in the United States became Denver. Paradise Riders became Ontario again. Lobos MC became Windsor. Banditos, that was the ones that they were beefing with. Banditos Edmonton became the Red Deer Nomads, and North Coast MC became Akron, Ohio.
2015, there's the last one that they took over.
2015. Yep.
Wow. Various United States law enforcement agencies classify the Hells Angels as one of the big 4 motorcycle gangs.
Yes, the Banditos that they're most...
Right.
They're actually cool with the Outlaws.
Right. There are the Hells Angels, the Pagans, the Outlaws, and the Banditos.
Yeah. With a name like the Outlaws, you kind of got to be outlaws, right?
Right. And law enforcement contend that members carry out widespread violent crime and organized crime, including drug dealing, trafficking in stolen goods, extortion, prostitution operations, and more, and others. In Australia, the Hells Angels are included among the Big 6, with the Banditos, the Comanchero, the Finks, the Mongols, and the Rebels.
No outlaws over there, huh?
That's cool.
Right. Members of the organization have continually asserted that they're only a group of motorcycle enthusiasts who have joined to ride motorcycles together to organize social events such as good road trips, fundraisers, parties, and motorcycle rallies, and that any crimes are the responsibility of the people who carried them out, not the club as a whole.
That makes sense.
Right. Which, they do say, we're a motorcycle club. We just happen to have criminals.
And a lot of times, if they mess up a lot, they make them go.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. 2019, May, a court in Utrecht issued a verdict that made the Netherlands the first country to completely ban the Hells Angels.
Oh, poor guys.
You bastards. You guys are supposed to be the home of the frickin' Vikings.
Right.
The presiding judge called it a danger to the public order and the rule of law. Other countries, such as Germany, had banned local chapters, but never the entire club.
I mean, okay.
July 15th, year 2022. The Supreme Court of Netherlands reaffirmed the ban, making it permanent.
Oh, permanent. No more Hells Angels in the Netherlands, huh? Oh, they're still there, I bet, though.
Right.
So that was a quick little history of the old Hells Angels, but coming up next, I think we should do probably profile Sonny Barger next, since he's the main vein. The main vein of the Angels. And then maybe we'll do some crimes, because in the United States we got in detail of a bunch of crimes that they've committed. California by itself's got its own episode, because obviously.
Holy shit.
And then Australia's got its own, because obviously. Canada has its own, because obviously. United Kingdom has its own. And then we'll do one on the rest of the world, which there's literally some in like Malaysia. Argentina has got some. I mean, they're everywhere, dude. They're everywhere. Copenhagen, Denmark, obviously. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So we got at least another 7, 8, 9 episodes of the Hells Angels. So, yep, that was just a little brief history, and we'll get into more. But next month, I guess, we'll get into Ralph Hubert Sonny Barger Jr., who just passed away 2022, June. So, yeah. And,
He lived a long life.
Yeah.
Good for him, right?
Yeah, good for him.
Right.
Most prominent member during the counterculture era, was reputed by law enforcement and the media to be the club's international president, an allegation he repeatedly denied. Good for him. And then he lost his voice in like 2010 or something, or like 2000 or something from cancer, smoking. Don't smoke, boys and girls.
No.
So yeah, we'll get into his little story. his little story next month, but coming up next week. I think it's going to be the first of our remastered series where we go back and kind of an alternate look at episodes we've already done. Maybe it'll be, well, we've seen with the the H.H. Holmes episode. It was a completely different story than what we did. So
sure no, it was.
Maybe we'll have some other stuff. So yeah, we'll probably start out with Wild Bill. So that'll be next week. And then obviously we've got serial killers coming up, which I said last month. It'll be about the old baby killer that was just convicted in like 2013. So got a full slate of stuff happening here on Outlaws and Gunslingers. Reminder, at Bang Dang Network on YouTube. Give us a review on Spotify, Apple, and answer that Spotify
baby
question.
Killer. Who's the baby killer?
The baby killer, the one that was doing abortions.
Oh, yeah, that guy. What's his name? The Mexican
It was
guy.
Barrero or something like that.
Yeah, they made a movie.
Yes, they did. Is he there? Oh, I don't have him there. But yeah, so that's us. We'll be back next week for a remastered. It should be fun, actually. We'll go back to the Wild West days for a little bit here on the old Outlaws and
Wild Wild
Gunslingers,
West.
where the mother music industry.
Bang, dang.